Story 1. Not taking sick leave and bullying people who do. Recently, I've hurt my back, and my colleagues were upset. I couldn't lift anything, and they were still demanding I work. Story 2. I moderate a quickly growing tech career subreddit, and it's insane how many people act like the modern candidate experience is normal. The number of hoops even quality candidates are expected to jump through is insane. Has anyone stopped to think that maybe the reason unemployment is not in sync with open jobs is because the modern job market is inefficient at placing qualified candidates with quality employers? Edit. Since this is gaining attention, CS Career Hacking is my retirement project where I help software engineers or those in related fields get jobs for free. Story 3. Expecting everyone to be contactable 24/7. It's beyond me that we're all supposed to respond to a message instantly, and it's perceived to be rude if you don't. This stresses me out. Story 4. Forcing your own religious beliefs on other people and expecting them to start to believe in your faith is not advisable. Believe whatever you would like. But that approach is extreme. You are making your religion look like a cult. Story 5. Misplaced anger coupled with missing the bigger picture. Also known as, you are mad at the minimum wage being raised so everyone can have a decent quality of life instead of being mad that the chief executive officer is getting a $24 million a year bonus. Story 6. High school girls dating grown men. Before I get a lot of replies saying this is not normalized, I beg to differ. I am in high school, and as a 14-year-old freshman, my best friend was dating an 18-year-old, and I was the only one to have a problem with it. Now, I'm a senior, and apparently it's so normal for 15 to 17-year-old girls to date men upwards of their 30s. It seems like I'm the only one with a problem with this. Story 7. Being loud and inconsiderate of others. I understand you are an adult and can do whatever you want, but we live in a society, and you need to still think of others and keep the peace around you. Story 8. Trauma. I'm really tired of everyone saying they have experienced trauma. It's a serious word that means something serious, but I see many people on social media using it in a way that is not appropriate or accurate. When you know someone who has suffered trauma and then you see other people using the word in casual parlance, it's concerning. Story 9. Talking on speakerphone while in public. Or, from a cashier's perspective, when people are at the register checking out, they are on the phone the entire time, ignoring the cashier, and somehow acting frustrated with the cashier for assisting them. Story 10. Having dirty hands from work is not impressive. Nobody cares about your calluses and fingers. Please wash your hands. We do not care that you work 12 hours. Just please turn the sink on. Use soap. Rinse. It takes 30 seconds to a minute at most. Story 11. These weird plastic faces everyone seems to think look normal. And I genuinely believe they think everyone is staring at them because they look hot, when the truth is we're in awe of how incredibly ridiculous they look. Story 12. The idea that good men do not need to be protected from predatory women. Just because she cannot outlift you does not mean she cannot destroy you from the inside out by attacking everything about you that makes you a genuine person. Story 13. The president having a rich sidekick. Never in the Oval Office has a random billionaire had the authority that Trump has given Elon. He is a disgrace to the presidency and makes it look like a joke rather than an honor. Story 14. The way the rich talk about the working class. When I first started working at a luxury resort, I thought my new coworkers were exaggerating. Couldn't be that bad. I was so wrong. When you're a massage therapist, people get really comfortable with you in that dark room. They start spilling secrets. Some cry. Some confess things about their family. Some people finally have the courage to speak what they really think. I've always kept my word to never mention a thing, but after working here, I have lost all respect for the rich. I met a man from Phoenix who was thrilled to evict tenants from the apartment buildings he owns when people lost their jobs to the COVID-19 pandemic. He said it was their fault for not preparing for something like this. A global pandemic, my guy? No empathy, compassion, or humanity. Rotten. I had an elderly woman who resented getting older. She was barely holding up. Then she said, "But at least I'm not poor," with such disgust in her voice. It wasn't even a factor in the conversation, so why go after them? Like they were subhuman or something. They act like that's a healthy, normal way to think about human beings. They need a reality check real fast. There are so many other examples, but listen, the rich don't care about you, and if they can get rid of you, they will. Story 15. Talking on speakerphone in public or being on FaceTime with the speaker on in public is not considerate. Or playing your music loudly at stoplights just tells everyone you're not being respectful. Story 16. Having real and serious depression is not just a case of feeling sad for one day, but true depression. It's not normal to feel this way, and I know it. However, everyone makes it sound like a completely normal thing that everyone deals with, which makes it so much harder to reach out for and accept help. Story 17. I wish people would stop acting like it's normal to see conflicts and difficult conversations as a problem. Failing to go through the difficult conversations with grace and respect is a problem, not the difficult conversations themselves. Story 18. Being negative about anything involving someone else's dreams or ambitions. I myself can be negative at times, but I wish being positive was the norm. I wish it was illegal to be negative if someone was telling you what they were up to or going to do. Story 19. Homelessness is a result of capitalism. We have enough resources to house every single person, but greed stops people from thinking those on the streets are less than human. Story 20. Sexual assault. Rape is sexualized, and sexual assault or harassment is often seen as acceptable and normal. On both sides, there are double standards based on gender that make it much more complicated. Story 21. The stupid prohibition people were actually right. How many deaths, assaults, and all types of other crimes wouldn't exist if people didn't find it normal to drink poison? Hell, the bar will sell it to you, then get mad when you start acting weird. That's like a place that sold beans calling the cops as soon as you fart. Story 22. Letting little babies, toddlers, and even kids play with phones and tablets. Moms will be like, "Don't judge me," or, God forbid, you say something to a mom who has a child with neurological differences. I strongly feel that parents who are also addicted to their phones will find any way to justify letting their kids use them as well. It's terrifying the effect it has on children. Story 23. People who expect immediate responses to digital communication and those who disclose their whole lives online. To be fair, I've noticed it less somewhat recently. I think many people are burnt out from hyperconnectedness. Story 24. Glow-up culture isn't normal. Stop telling children they need to look attractive before they graduate high school. Stop telling people they need to look attractive at all. Story 25. Ignoring when your employees are clearly suffering. I've perfected the art of silent crying, so I don't disturb my coworkers. But it does still sting quite a bit when someone catches me crying and continues to pile work on instead of saying, "Go take 5. Story 26. Belief in the supernatural. Seriously, folks, in all of recorded history, not a single instance of supernatural events has any credible evidence. Not a single miracle, not a single ghost, not a single magician or anything. It's almost as though the supernatural is just primitive superstitions. Story 27. Smoking. I get it, it is addicting, it is supposedly nice, and it is hard to quit. But stop normalizing it. We all know how bad it is for your health, and you are injuring the people around you as well. Story 28. Overconsumption. Instagram and influencers continually promote this and they get paid for it. If I hear one more person clicking nails on things, I am going to riot. Also, keep things in their packaging. Story 29. That girls can't heavy lift. If I need help, I'll ask for it, especially for something like an armoire. But I frequently play a game of Tetris with 3-seat couches at my job without a dolly. Story 30. Plastic surgery. God, I watched one of those reality television shows recently where they try to get young people to pair up. Most of the women look like aliens with the amount of work they have done. It is obvious and off-putting, and they are hard to tell apart because they seem to have all gone to the same doctor. I am not a fan of the look our society's beauty standards seem to be pushing. Story 31. Prying into your personal details and then comparing them with theirs. Getting too close and acting like we are family. They keep touching my hands and invading my personal space, but I don't really know them. I don't even recognize who is who. I can't see their faces clearly because they all dress the same. They wrap themselves up in clothing. Story 32. Working every day until you die. Working backbreaking hours for minimum pay. Not being able to afford a home. Not even making livable wages to provide for family and self. Story 33. Trump and Musk forcing the United States into a fascist dictatorship. Where is the backlash? Where is the fight? I understand that protests are happening, but if you are protesting peacefully and not fighting fire with fire, nothing will happen. This is your country we are talking about, and you are just fine to let 200 years of democracy be wiped out. Story 34. I work as a teacher. When I take sick leave, students miss instruction time. Still, if I am too sick to concentrate or continuously coughing and spreading germs, you can bet I will call in sick. Story 35. Lying to people's faces. I pity the people who choose to wear a different face for everyone. They go through life without being able to trust anyone, and their entire day is built on made-up things. No wonder they forget what was said. It wasn't real. Story 36. Work being the highest life priority. Having to devote all your time to working just to be able to afford a roof over your head and the most basic necessities. A society where most days are just wake up, go to work, come home and eat, go to sleep, rinse and repeat. Not normal. Story 37. Not brushing their teeth. No, seriously, why would you want to go all day without brushing them? Your breath is hot, and I can see the plaque from a mile away. Story 38. Bringing their dogs into restaurants and stores. I can understand if you are blind, have epilepsy, or a medical condition that requires a service dog, but everyone has gotten way too comfortable just bringing their family house pets everywhere. Story 39. People telling you to leave your significant other when a minor occurrence happens is something that can definitely be worked out. Why are people so quick to say, just leave them? Story 40. Working a job you hate is normal, and you have to deal with it. I'm so tired of hearing, you get paid. It's a job. You don't have to like it. We all have jobs we don't like. But I feel like if you dedicate yourself to a career you dislike, a job you're supposed to work and retire in, it's a painful existence. Story 41. Eating meat and animal products is often criticized for ethical and environmental reasons. Here's a breakdown of why some people find it problematic. 1. Ethical concerns. Animal suffering. Factory farms raise animals in cramped, stressful, and inhumane conditions. Many suffer from physical abuse, lack of space, and painful procedures like debeaking or tail docking. Slaughter practices. Even in regulated industries, animals often endure painful deaths. Some are still conscious when killed due to ineffective stunning methods. Moral argument. Many argue that since we can survive and thrive without eating animals, killing them for taste is unnecessary. Environmental impact. Deforestation. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of rainforest destruction, especially for cattle grazing and soy farming, most of which goes to feed livestock, not humans. Greenhouse gases. Livestock farming contributes to methane and carbon emissions, making it a major driver of climate change. Cattle alone produce more greenhouse gases than all global transportation combined. Water usage. It takes over 1,800 gallons of water to produce a single pound of beef, compared to just 39 gallons for a pound of vegetables. Ocean destruction. Overfishing and bycatch, which is the unintentional capture of marine life, lead to the collapse of marine ecosystems. Industrial fishing also destroys coral reefs and disrupts food chains. Health risks. Heart disease and high cholesterol. Red and processed meats are linked to higher rates of heart disease, strokes, and high cholesterol. Cancer risk. The World Health Organization classifies processed meats like bacon, sausage, and hot dogs as carcinogenic and red meat as a probable carcinogen. Antibiotic resistance. Overuse of antibiotics in factory farms contributes to antibiotic-resistant bacteria, making human infections harder to treat. Hormonal imbalances. Dairy contains natural hormones that can disrupt human hormone levels, potentially leading to issues like acne, early puberty, and reproductive disorders. Global hunger and resource inefficiency. Food waste. Feeding animals plants like soy and corn instead of eating those plants directly is highly inefficient. For example, it takes about 6 pounds of plant protein to produce 1 pound of beef. Land use. Animal agriculture uses 83% of farmland, but produces only 18% of global calories. If land used for livestock were repurposed for crops, global food security could improve. Sure, you can say, but our ancestors ate meat, but you use a phone, etc. Lions eat meat because they don't have vegan options and they don't kill animals the way we do. But it's normal. Shouldn't be. It's a personal choice. The animals didn't get a choice, so no. But it's part of some cultures and traditions. Female genital mutilation, honor killings, and child marriage are also part of some cultures and traditions, but they are wrong. But meat is a source of protein. You can get protein from plants. Story 42. Welfare as a career. I don't know how many times I hear teenagers or even women up to 30 years old saying that the government pays them to be a stay-at-home mom, or they talk about needing to have another baby in less than 2 years to keep receiving a salary. The 3 or 4 months we needed help when my husband and I got hurt were embarrassing. We hated needing help and wanted to actually work, but our kids needed food and bills paid. Story 43. I can only speak for the community I'm part of, the Black community, even though I am Caribbean. People need to go back to being shamed for bringing babies into this world with random people. Too many children out of wedlock, not enough marriages. The priorities are backwards.